Moving on to our next one on Sunday, we've got the Houston Texans traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. It looks like a 7-point spread for Cincinnati. Wayne, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah. I mean, 7-point spread, I think that could be challenged, I think, here. That being said, the Bengals are playing some of the best, I think, football in all the NFL, like coming off some pretty high quality wins there, I think. And their secondary, I think that's not talked about enough. I believe Cam Taylor-Britt, who I was eyeing on in the draft. I was hoping that the Bears would take him, but took a couple other secondary people with Brisker and Kyler Gordon there. But I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's playing at an all-pro level, has 3 interceptions, has been doing a really tremendous job, and I think he'll be able to shut down what the wide receivers, or him and the entire secondary of the Bengals, shut down the wide receivers a little bit there. With Nico Collins, Dell as well. For CJ Stroud, and it is in Cincinnati too, and it's always a tough game for a rookie on the road. And then the Bengals defense has been playing pretty well, and then their offense, they're actually clicking some. They're getting the ball to Jamar Chase. They're getting to the wide receivers. Burrow's actually been able to throw further downfield now, and Mixon's had some key blocks there from the passing game I've seen as well, and yeah, their offense is humming along as well as it has been all season, I think. So I mean, I'm definitely going to pick the Bengals here. 7-point spread. I mean, the Texans have played some pretty close games, so it's hard to say on that. But yeah, I'm going to go at least with the Bengals here with that defense and the offense kind of humming along there.
Yeah, like what you said. I think it's interesting because early on in the season, everyone was down on the Bengals. They had a slow start. Everyone was like, oh, whatever. And I've mentioned it before on my podcast. Joe Burrow was hurt, even through all that, everyone was giving up on this team. And once again, they came back and they showed they are a good team. They can have everything when the team is healthy. So yeah, I think, you look at this team, they're a very solid team ever since he's become healthy. I think the biggest difference with this team that not as many people have given credit to is how much this defense has stepped up, because early on in this season, I felt as though the defense not only was Joe Burrow not looking good, but the defense wasn't looking good either. So you look at this team, Joe Burrow is starting to put it together. The defense is starting to put it together. They beat a Bills team who, yes, has not looked very good, but it's still a very crucial win, especially considering how they started. It's a very big win for their confidence. But on the other side, you look at this Texans team, CJ Stroud just threw for 5 touchdowns, had a huge game against the Buccaneers, and what I would say a huge game in confidence for this Texans team. If the Texans want to slide into this wild card spot, which it's probably looking like they're going to have to slide into if they want to make the playoffs, I think this is a must-win game for them, which makes this kind of an all-in game for them. So I think a sneaky upset here. I think the Texans might pull it off.
I love it. Yeah, this is going to be a shootout, I feel like. I mean, after what Stroud's done, like you said, getting Tank Dell back in his offense, back involved. I mean, even moving away from Nico Collins, which is kind of a breath of fresh air for them. They went to Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, others. Still haven't really established a run game over there, which will be interesting. I really like them showing up in this game and making a statement. I'm just so on the Bengals bandwagon right now, and kind of echoing what you said, Hunter, coming out of the gate, seeing where Burrow kind of started. My thought was this guy just needs to go to the IR because we know who he is. This isn't a matter of talent. It's not a matter of is he off to a rough start? Is he in his own head? No, we know this guy is basically the 1B at quarterback in the NFL. Now he's being able to take it out of the pocket, get on the run, find guys on the fly. He looks smooth. And, when he's going, the rest of the team just starts to go. Love the fact that they're obviously hosting, this weekend as well. I think, 7-point spread seems a little bit wide, especially just looking at what the Texans were able to do, under the gun last week. Man, it's I want to put that that pick on Houston, but I'm just not there. So I'm going to take the Bengals here, but I think Stroud continues to keep it going and, kind of cements his case, obviously, as rookie of the year. And yeah, if Houston can get, into one of those wild card spots, if Jaguars happen to fall somewhat, like maybe they make it, a race in the, AFC South there. But this one will definitely be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, echoing everything what everybody said there, I think one thing I want to talk about, and tell me if I'm crazy if I'm thinking this, but is CJ Stroud the MVP? Like actual most valuable player? Like, because they don't have a run offense right now. Like Pierce, what is he averaging? Like 3 yards a carry? I think he's on your team, Pat. So you probably got to know, but he's like averaging like 3 yards a carry. So oftentimes they say the best friend for a rookie quarterback, right, is a run game. They don't have that. Their defense has played, pretty well, but they're not like the Cleveland Browns right now, or 2000 Ravens, 85 Bears, or anything like that. So, obviously some good coaching there, but yeah, CJ Stroud looked amazing out there last game. Is breaking all these records. Only has one interception to 14 touchdowns. So I don't know. Is it crazy to think that he ought to get some talk or chat for not just Rookie of the Year, but MVP as well?
I think looking at the pure definition of most valuable player, I think I understand where you're coming from. Especially because this MVP race, I feel like there hasn't been like a super clear winner this year. Like in the past, like, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes. Oh, it's this guy. Like, I don't know. I feel like there isn't like a super clear winner this year on who's going to get it. It's like, even if you look at the odds throughout the year, I feel like it's switched. First, it was Tua when the Dolphins were clicking. Then it was, I think right now, it went back to either Mahomes or Lamar. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think voters in general are going to have a really tough time giving it to a rookie. I don't know when the last time a rookie got an MVP. I don't know if that's ever happened, but I don't see that clicking with fans and voters. So
Yeah.
I like the take, man. I like the take for sure because, yeah, when you're thinking about it, I mean, what player means the most to his team at this point? Look at the swing that Houston's taken here, just having him under center, like the confidence, he brings to the team, the way he's changed that offense almost immediately. I think obviously better and brighter days are coming for him too. Like he's going to be, probably in this, maybe top 10 type pack of quarterbacks that year in, year out can lead their teams to playoff bursts and things like that. Yeah, I mean, if Patrick Mahomes wasn't, nearly, perfect with the Chiefs out there, if they weren't like sitting atop, the AFC, obviously Lamar, bringing his team up a tier here this year. I'd like to see where guys like Josh Allen, Burrow kind of end, and then even just non-quarterback positional players like a Tyreek Hill, if they happen to, win 11, 12 games or something, he breaks, some sort of receiving records or just puts up an ungodly amount of receptions and touchdowns. Like that could be fun too. But yeah, man, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that out, and we'll definitely keep that bookmark for the rest of the year.
I mean, yeah, to your point, like Hunter, I don't like voters. Like, I just don't. I think they go by whatever.
no.
It's like it's like the Oscars. It's like, all right, so and so is hot right now. I'm gonna go for that. Right? That's kind of, I get it. It's the game. It's how it's played. But yeah, if you take, I don't know who you want to qualify as like the average mid quarterback, right? But you stick him where the Houstons are with that talent, the scheming and such. It's like, put Gardner Minshew in there or something. He's not getting 475 yards or, doing these crazy things here. I don't believe so. And, without a run game as well. I mean, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I got to give some props to CJ. He's having an incredible rookie season here.
Well, and on top of all the stats, like all the yards and touchdowns, he's also turned the ball over once, which is crazy for a rookie. You're hopping into one of, like, obviously the highest level of football. These are the best defenses, and you're still not turning the ball over. That curve, that first year, almost always is hard for QBs. Very rarely. I mean, look at Peyton Manning. How many times did he turn the ball over his rookie year? For him to turn the ball over once through 9 weeks, I mean, there's a case to be made. There's a case to
Yeah,
be made, Wade.
yeah, no run game. I mean, wide receivers, like, I didn't know. I think I was like, oh, Dalton Schultz, like, they signed him, but, like, Tank Dell, like, did any of us predict what he's doing right now? Did anybody predict, Nico Collins or Noah Brown? Like, nobody. Like, if they had Tyreek Hill, if they had, Marvin Harris, like, all those players, the rookies that have had tremendous rookie seasons, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, they all had a team around them. Like, CJ has nothing. Like, a couple makeshift draft picks and Dalton Schultz there. I mean, a good decent line. I think that's one thing, but there's not much around him. I think coming into the season. So yeah, I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. If I were voting, which of course I'm not, but I might think about MVP here.
Gotta say, man, the draft review that we did earlier on, I'm so glad that put out the CJ Stroud points. I think Panther fans right now are like definitely hitting themselves. I go back to the CFP from last year and just how effective Stroud was against even that Alabama defense. It was like you could kind of see what was coming for him. I obviously didn't think he was going to be this good out of the chute. Like, it's not where I'm going with it, but you could kind of see that. I believe between the two, him and Bryce Young, like there was some clear advantages going Stroud through the draft, and it just like those first few weeks before the draft, like things just start to snowball, and one guy just gets a ton of helium, and then it's like Bryce Young's the next great thing, and I don't want to say Bryce Young's story is done either, but man, at this point, like Stroud looked like the clear alpha of those two.
Yeah, I agree. And coming into the season, I thought Bryce Young actually had more talent around him. If you combine, Miles Sanders, offensive line. Adam Thielen, like he's not a burner, but he has like 70 receptions like for the past 10 years. He's been in the NFL, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm just thoroughly impressed by CJ Stroud, not turning the ball over, has done more with less than I think any rookie quarterback ever, and yeah, like you were saying, Hunter, I think Lamar Jackson's the favorite right now, but I'm like, this isn't his best season. He's not running away with it, right? No pun intended, I think, with him. But yeah, his team's is just winning. It's the best team in the NFL, but it's not necessarily because of him. I think it's, their defense is playing incredible. Yeah, so I don't know. I just want to toss it out there, show some love for CJ Stroud a little bit.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, and by Alabama, I meant Georgia. So make sure I get that asterisk there.